since Michael Lombardi worked here the last 2 years, a lot of people take his views as being those reflected by...
Look, Mike's one of the smartest people that I know. He's one of the smartest people I've worked with. And he was a huge asset to me for the 2 years that he was here. So Mike's a smart guy, and he studies football, and he knows it very well. I would say on probably all teams.
Pretty high praise, Michael.
But we knew that already.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's very nice, yeah.
Well,
you go.
how much you pay for that spot?
I gave him a hoodie.
And then he cut it out. That's awesome. All right, let's talk about those Patriots. Earlier this week, the Patriots surprised a lot of people by trading away Pro Bowl linebacker Jamie Collins to the Browns. Greg Bedard of Sports Illustrated wrote, "If New England again fails to win the Lombardi Trophy this season, even the most ardent in Bill We Trust droids will question the recent defensive moves made by Patriots coach / demigod Bill Belichick, leading to those thoughts that were once considered heresy. Has the 64-year-old Hall of Famer in waiting started to lose his touch?" Skip, is it fair to question Belichick?
Now you're going to ask me that question in the presence of Michael Lombardi after we just...
Yeah.
One of the
Bill-
smartest
Well,
men he knows.
let's start with Michael then. Is it fair to
No,
question?
I'm going to go.
Okay.
Yes, it is fair. But I preface this by qualifying or disqualifying myself. I'm a much bigger Brady fan than I am a Belichick fan, as Shannon knows.
Yes.
We can talk for days about the whys or the why nots of getting rid of Chandler Jones and Jamie Collins. Bottom line, all I know is that the two most talented players on last year's defense are now not on this year's defense. Is that fair to say?
I think it is. yeah.
Okay. And all I know for sure is that Jonathan Cooper, whom Bill got back, obviously, from Arizona, did not work out. So you have not much to show for Chandler Jones, correct?
Well, the starting left guard, Joe Tooney,
Yep.
is the guy that basically,
That
that was the
is-
trade that ended up happening.
All right. So I get that. But what I don't get and what I cannot forgive Bill for, what I cannot fathom, is what happened last year in the final two regular season games. I haven't gotten over those, so maybe you can talk me through these. But against the Jets, remember, at the Jets last year, Tom Brady leads a 66-yard, 11-play drive, 9-yard pass to James White to tie the score at 20 with 1:55 left, which leads to overtime, during which coin goes up. Patriots win the coin toss, and Bill decides to defer. And I'm sitting in my living room thinking, wait a second, you have number 12 on your side, and you just gave the ball to the other team. I get it, it's Ryan Fitzpatrick, but for once, you're not a big fan, but for once, Fitzpatrick goes 5 plays, 80 yards, boom, 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 6 yards to Eric Decker, game over. And I was just dumbfounded by it, which led to the final regular season game, which was at Miami last year. And I couldn't get the game plan because the first 19 plays featured only handoffs or flips to running backs. No wide receiver or tight end passes, and he threw only 2 passes in the first 18 of those plays. Tom Brady went 4 for 5 for 20 yards in the first half, and they fell behind 10-3. Now remember, home field advantage is teetering on the line in those last 2 games at Jets, at Dolphins. All you have to do is win one of those 2, and the AFC title game is going to be in your place instead of his place, which is Denver, Colorado. And in the second half, Tom started to throw the ball, but Sue and company were all over him because he was throwing the ball, and they could not protect Tom Brady. And you know the rest of the story. They lost 20-10, and they lost home field advantage because they both finished 12-4, Patriots and Broncos. And Patriots had obviously lost at the Broncos during the regular season. So, boom, AFC Championship game is where you can't hear the snap count in Denver. And you know the rest of that story. They lose 20-18, and Denver goes on to win a Super Bowl. I believe Tom Brady and company would have won. So it's hard for me to defend Bill on those 2 counts, even though I get your points on the 2 counts of Chandler Jones and Jamie Collins.
Well, I think when you look back last year, and let's go back through it, you know, the Jet game, the situation was we had an opportunity to, we won the toss, and we were playing pretty good defense at the end of the game there. And if you give your opponent the ball in that situation, then all you need to do is kick a field goal. If you can get a 3 and out and stop them. We had that opportunity where they ran D-slant to the flat, and we missed the tackle. Tavon Austin missed a tackle. He goes down the sidelines, and next thing you know, we still didn't play good enough defense to win it. The next week in Miami, most of the team was really not able to play. That was the reality. We lost a lot of the players in the team, and the reason we ran the ball so much in the first half was we wanted to reduce the game, because if we would have started throwing the game, Brady might not have made it out of the game healthy, and almost didn't make it out of the game healthy. I think he took a really bad
He
shot
took
to
a
his leg
beating, yep.
in that game. So, you know, when you go back over those situations, you try to do the best you can. The team really at that point was on a serious decline injury-wise. I think we could not run the football, which is something when we walked off the field in Denver, we talked about having to be able to do. This year, they can run the football more effectively. But I think where people miss the boat on Bill often, and this is not because he said wonderful things about me, but this is from the Bill that I've
Partly.
known. No, this is the Bill that I know from 1991, the minute he walked in the Cleveland Brown Berea offices. Bill makes no decisions based on his own ego. I think you can see by the way he dresses, by the way he behaves. He's the most successful coach in the history of the game. He hasn't done one commercial. Nothing's about Bill. It's all about the team. And so when he makes a decision with Jamie Collins, it is truly what he believes to be in the best interest of the team. And Jamie, for all the rhetoric that's going around, when you really study what's happened on the field, they were not producing. And I think to manage Jamie as a situational player, having been the best player on the team, would have been more difficult. You trade him, and hopefully a Landon Roberts could come through. So I think Bill's track record, look, past performance predicts future achievement. And I think Bill's track record in these situations, whether it's cutting at Lawyer Malloy, or whether it's trading Drew Bledsoe, or whether it's Richard Seymour for a first-round pick, these are things, no decision you make as a head coach is an easy one. And you have to bear the responsibility. But I think his track record shows that it's pretty good.